I have to make one adjustment on the computer, but
Okay.
it is up on YouTube. It's just, it's not gonna be on the website right now.
Oh, okay. Can I start the meeting?
You can.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Tuckerton Borough Council on April the 21st, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with. This notice was published in the Beacon and the Asbury Park Press stating the time, date, and place of this meeting.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Breland.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Colangelo.
Here.
Mr. Diemar.
Here.
Mr. Dupree.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mayor Marshall.
Here. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, our first order of business is a presentation by Councilman Martin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Tonight, we will be doing the budget hearing and the adoption of the 2025 municipal budget. And at this time, I would like to make a motion to request that we open to the public for the budget hearing. Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second to open to the public for this hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You're all set.
Do we have any questions from the public on the 2025 proposed municipal budget? Mr. Eggert.
Do I give my name and address?
Just give your name.
Okay. Well, first thing, looking at the budget, the biggest thing I see is salaries, they keep going up. I wonder how long the borough can sustain them. I noticed that the school tax deferral looked like it was about the same as before. We're not paying that down. And the way I understand the school deferral, since I was mayor, the borough spent more than 1.6 million than they've had to spend, so it's a paperwork shuffle. We're kind of worried about that. And I guess my first question is, since we eliminated half the council meetings, is there the council and everybody involved in coming council meetings gotten a pay cut?
No.
No? So still taking the same amount of money for less work? Okay.
No.
One thing I noticed about the court looks like it's costing over $110,000 a year and taking in less than $40,000 a year. Is there any way that can be fixed or merged with Little Lake or somebody? Taking a big loss on that.
We have been taking a loss on courts. Really, we came up last year since COVID, so we took a huge loss during COVID. It has been coming back. As far as merging, I would say no. I know I'm a fan of having court here in town with us, but I anticipate that we'll see our revenues from court continue to come up. They might not come up to that number this year, but they are coming back up.
Well, I can tell you from my experience, there's revenue out there because probably better than half the time I go to traffic light in Tuckerton, I have the green to go and somebody's coming in front of me, obviously running a red light. And like, it just happens almost every day, so I kind of wonder what the enforcement is. So, what's the plan there for what's the procurement of land for 1.125 million?
The land right next door, what we call the Gomez property.
Okay. So that hasn't been paid for yet?
So it has not been paid for as of yet.
Okay. And that's gonna be 1.125 million for that parcel?
I don't know the exact number, but yes.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I thought we were
1.3.
getting it kind of cheap last time I read about it. Maybe it was a misprint or maybe I missed something there or whatever.
It's not the entire property though. It's split with Ocean County. So Ocean County's taking the back, we're taking the front portion that is the usable, buildable land.
Okay.
With the anticipation that somewhere in the future down the line, possibly public works being moved there out of the flood zone, the water tower being moved up there.
Okay. As far as salaries go, I know back in 2016, we were paying Little Egg $42,000 for the services of Garrett when he was the CFO in Little Egg. And then one time I questioned here why we needed a full-time CFO, Jenny said because the auditor said we did. But in talking to some of the towns we do business with, that are various sizes, sort of like ours, a lot of them have part-time CFOs, and I don't know why we can't do that. It used to be that when we had Little Egg doing it under Garrett as a shared service deal, we had the girl, Mary Ann Gabordi, right here in the office, did a lot of paperwork, and then you had Jenny in the office. Well, when you were going to put him on full-time, I asked Jenny what was going on. She said, well, the salary benefits for Mary Ann would help go towards his, but then we had the seat filled with another girl. Like I said, when I was the mayor, and I say now, the Borough Hall is only open 9 to 4. If you pay full-time salaries, there are a lot of discrepancies in salaries. I didn't get them all yet. But if you could maybe join the tax collector and the CFO and have somebody doing the work and everybody worked 8 hours, if you have 8 people in the Borough Hall and you eliminate one, that gives you more 8 hours. You know what I mean? It'd just be more efficient if the borough restructured a little bit to save some money. And, I think it's like bad because according to the salary orders, I'm not going to mention any names, but you have people working at Public Works that have been working here pretty much all their life, getting, slightly more a third than the highest paid people here that come, and I just don't think that's right. And one problem I had when I was the mayor, you're doing this percentage of salaries. Well, the people making, $130,000 a year, they get 2%, they're getting a big raise, but the people are, Public Works making 30-some, 40-some thousand a year, they're getting almost nothing. They have to work a full 8 hours a day, and then they have to take their lunch break, with not being counted as work hours. Or like the police are on a shift, they could take their lunch break when they're working. If these guys in the Borough Hall take their break, they could do it, that means they're working less than 7 hours a day for full-time pay if they're taking lunch breaks. So I think that the borough should think about restructuring a little bit here. We're a small town, and the salaries and the budget's getting out of hand, okay? Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments?
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to close this public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so carried.
Is it, Jenny, just a motion to adopt?
Read the resolution for the title thing and then,
COLA first. COLA ordinance.
First one,
Has to be.
here.
so, the resolution authorizing read by title? We have to do
Yes.
that first.
Resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the reading of the 2025 municipal budget by title only, and I move this resolution.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to read the budget by title only. All in favor? Opposed? Any opposed?
One,
You have to do-
3,
Hmm,
and then do ordinance 3, and then the budget.
okay.
Sorry, Mayor, do you want me to do roll call?
Yes.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next I have the second reading of ordinance 3 of 2025, which is the ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish cap bank pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-45.14. And at this time, I would like to open to public comment. I make a motion to open the public.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to open to public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you ready?
Do we have any comments or questions from the public in regards to ordinance number 3, establishing the cap bank? All right, seeing none, I make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to close this. All,
Yeah.
does it have to be a,
Close.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you're done.
Okay, and then at this time, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 3 of 2025, calendar year 2025, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 48:4-45.14.
Second?
All right, a motion and a second as read. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then,
And then now, I make a motion that we adopt the 2025 municipal budget as presented.
Second?
All right, I now have a motion and a second on this resolution as read. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then that is it for presentation.
Okay. Very good. So that takes care of this. Now we go on to legislation. Councilman Vreeland.
I can't be upstaged by Mr. Martin, so I'll say I have nothing tonight.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, so moving on, finance, Councilman Martin
All
again.
right, I have a bunch of stuff, Madam
Yes,
Mayor.
you do.
First, I would like to say that I messed up in setting up the live stream of the meeting tonight, so I forgot to change the video from portrait mode to landscape mode, so I do not have it up on our website. It is, however, streaming live on YouTube.
Okay,
And then after the meeting, once it uploads to YouTube, I will then put it onto the website,
okay.
so that it's there. I guess first order of business tonight is to do the second reading of ordinance number 4 of 2025 and open to public comment on that. So I have ordinance number 4 of 2025, an ordinance of the Borough of Tuckerton in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of a vehicle for the police department and an ambulance in and for the borough and appropriating $386,000 therefore and providing for the issuance of $366,700 in bonds or notes of the borough to finance the same. And at this time, I make a motion that we open a public comment.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second to open public comment on ordinance 4 as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, do we have any questions from the public? Mr. Zabrowski, you want to go first?
No,
Oh, you want Mr. Eggert to go first? Okay, Mr. Eggert.
Yeah, Lee, I got 121 Willing Terrace, Tuckerton. I read on the bill list, it said a remount, you're buying a remount of a E450, and on the other paperwork it says new ambulance. Which is it?
It's actually a combination of both. It's a brand-new cab, and the chassis, the box itself is
So it's remount.
remounted.
Whose box was it?
I don't know, it's bought through VCI.
Okay, so it wasn't one from around here. Okay. As far as goes, there's in there a 20-day waiting period, so how do you, like in the past, we did fire trucks and everything, we had to wait for the 20-day waiting period until the money was in place to vote to purchase something like that. So how can it be on the agenda tonight to make the purchase? You just passed the bond, a 20-day wait period, we always had to go by that, even when I was the mayor. Money wasn't in place, even if you had to have a special meeting at the end of 20 days, if you wanted to do it quick. No answer?
No.
Okay. Better put some more money in your budget for lawyer fees. Okay, you're awarding purchase tonight for an ambulance, power load, cot, and equipment, correct?
That's what it says.
How much is the power load, the cot, and equipment cost?
It's $118,808.29.
Okay. Who's gonna operate this ambulance?
It's gonna be members of Squad 85, and probably Station 70 as well, who serves as EMS.
Okay, so where's it gonna be housed at?
Squad 85.
It's gonna be housed at Squad 85, the Great Bay's building for short?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're aware of it, but members of Parkertown are telling me that even one of their high call runners, you got a guy driving the ambulances that's on some kind of disability out of New York. So like in our fire company, when somebody was on disability, even Jenny wrote a letter, they weren't even allowed to respond to a call in their own vehicle and watch because of disability. Are you aware of that? Are you gonna check into it, make sure they're not running our ambulance?
We'll check into it.
Huh?
We'll check into it.
Okay, thanks. Who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance of this truck?
As in the past, it's always been Squad 85. They're driving it on a daily basis, and when something has to be fixed, they generally take care of it.
Okay. Do we have any kind of written agreement with Great Bay EMS for EMS service here, or Parkertown for EMS service?
No.
We have last year's.
So you're just gonna buy an ambulance with no agreement? Is that what you're saying? Is that what we're saying here?
No, we're actually working on an agreement now, and it just hasn't been finalized.
Okay. Is this ambulance you're buying, the one that's already a VCI completed and lettered up for Great Bay EMS?
That's the one.
So it was already ordered previously, even before the bond ordinance gets passed?
Yeah, we had a special meeting for it.
What's that?
We had a special meeting to, give the authorization regardless of the bond ordinance, because the fee for the truck was going to go up significantly as of January first.
Okay, well, I try to watch all this stuff, but I didn't see a notice of a special meeting. or it
Yeah, it
would
was
be.
in December, and we.
What's that?
It was in December,
Uh-huh.
and we authorized the letter to go out to VCI stating that we would purchase. We wanted to,
And what's the percentage of calls that Great Bay answers here in Tuckerton?
Well, we have the chief of Great Bay EMS here. He can give a breakdown during the EMS report.
And what percentage of calls you make in the borough? Out of all borough calls?
I don't have them in front of me. I'd have to do it.
Okay. Well, that's another question, because I see sometimes, I mean, Barney came on there, you know, a lot of other squads, quality, a lot of other people answering calls. I think that somebody here should know how many calls are being answered before you spend this much money, okay? The percentage, it's easy to get from the county. All you gotta do is call them up, get the list, and you'll be able to find that out. So nobody's done any research on this, they're just buying an ambulance, right?
I will say that I was given the percentage of calls and the breakdown that Squad 85 did versus Quality back in December, but I do not have the numbers in front of me. I don't even want to venture a guess without looking at them. But we were given the breakdown of the number of calls that
Yes.
Squad 85 has
It is
done
a
in the
high
borough.
percentage, and Mr. Egger, I know you know the answer to this, and it sounds sensational to everybody out in the audience. Oh, how many? All it takes is a motor vehicle accident with 2 people hurt, and you just tied up 2 ambulances. You know that.
Well, we used to do it, that's what I'm saying.
Legally, you can't run 2 patients in one ambulance. It has to be 2 separate. So if
You
Squad
could have
85,
bought one of ours cheap, you know?
if between Squad 85 and Station 70 with their ambulance, 1 motor vehicle accident, and then you're tied up with a slip and fall, or something cuts a finger, that's a 3rd ambulance, and we rely on Quality or Galloway. We go up to Manahawkin all the time. Manahawkin comes down here at times, so it's a big conglomerate. We work with other departments, and they work with us. That way, we have coverage, regardless of who shows up. It's because at Squad 85, ambulance is out, or it could be any circumstance. But
Okay, so this is gonna be housed at Great Bay. Now, how's this work between Great Bay and Parkertown? Great Bay ambulance comes out of Parkertown. It's kept up there, whatever happens sometimes.
Well, we have a Squad 85 ambulance at 70, plus at 70, we have our own ambulance as well. So we can actually run 2 different crews out of Station 70, which is Parkertown, for those that don't know the numbers, at the same time. We have many EMSs that are members of Station 70, and also dual members of
Okay,
85.
what I'm hearing on the scanner is a lot of times Great Bay gets called, they can't get out, then Parkertown gets called, and they could be either a Great Bay ambulance or your ambulance. I'm sure you've seen your ambulance, Parkertown's ambulance flies sometimes also, once in a while.
855, which is a Squad 85 ambulance out of 70. We also have 7004, which is a Parkertown ambulance. When 855 is being used on one call, and we get another one, we'll take 7004 with another EMT on board.
Okay, so in other words, you said you're gonna look into and find out about somebody driving that's on disability, right?
Yep.
Okay, and we don't have an answer yet on how you buy the ambulance without the 20-day waiting period to go by first. Nobody, not even the attorney, huh? Okay,
We will get an answer for you, Mr.
We haven't
Hager.
gotten to that item on the agenda.
what's that?
We haven't gotten to that item on the agenda yet, Mr. Hager.
Okay, thank you.
I see my podium still here.
The guy you
That's a plus. John Zabriskie, 707 South Green Street, Tuckerton, New Jersey. I've been in Tuckerton now for 21 years. And in all respect, Mr. Eckert, seriously, I mean, I've known that guy for 20-some years. And he's done an awful lot for this township, especially with Christmas times and making everybody feel good around the holidays and everything like that. And he's talking from experience. But every time the guy comes up, you treat him like he's an outcast. And these are legitimate questions. And the biggest question is, if we don't have an ambulance and we don't have a firehouse, why are we paying any money to anybody for ambulance service when we're paying people to do our fires and stuff? It shouldn't have to be coming out of our money. We don't have a firehouse, we don't have an ambulance. But now we're putting $119,000 out for an ambulance that's gonna be not even here in Tuckerton, it's gonna be around the corner in 85. I mean, how do you justify that?
Well, we do have a firehouse, it's Parkertown is our designated fire service.
Okay, but it's not Tuckerton.
By law, we have to provide fire service.
I understand
Fire
that.
coverage to the town.
That's why we should have our own service.
I would have loved to have had our own.
And if I'm gonna
service.
spend
I would love to have our own
$119,000,
service today.
I wanna fix a fire, and the other question that I have, which galls me, what happened to the money on the $1 million fire truck? Where's that money?
So the
We
money,
sold that, didn't we?
we're off this bond ordinance, Mayor, but if I could, I'll gladly answer that.
Sure. Wasn't part of it, I think.
So, the Borough of Beach Haven is purchasing the old fire truck.
We owned it, brand new.
So-
We bought it 2 years ago, didn't
Yes, so they're bought it, we went out to bid, they were the winning bid on it. The Borough of Beach Haven will have that. We will receive that money will though go to debt service, we'll be paying down the bonds on the fire truck that we purchased, plus we come away with some more so that we can pay down more debt service after that.
we? Okay. Now, how many other fire trucks were there in the Tuckerton service? They had 2 or 3 other fire trucks, didn't they? Where are they at?
What the high,
3,
3 total, right?
4 total,
Counting
3
the,
more in
3
addition
more.
to the.
So do we sell them too?
We're still in possession of all 3 of those other ones.
Well, the rescue truck, is going to be used by our
Public.
designated public
Public works.
fires, no,
Oh.
our designated
The high water,
fire
sorry.
department.
Okay, but see, that's another thing. We're putting the money out to go to somewhere else, okay? Coming out of our, going to our tax dollar, and we don't even own the truck.
We do.
No, we do.
Okay, well,
We've never lost ownership of it. They still respond to Tuckerton, and it's actually being housed, so it's not out in the weather like most people are concerned about. It's being housed inside a firehouse, and in a catastrophe, it will be the first responder for Tuckerton. And we're trying to work out an agreement with the other existing trucks in case there's high water in Tuckerton Beach. We need to evacuate to be able to utilize those trucks and to keep them inside too out of the weather.
Well, and then, you know, we have a firehouse just sitting out there, you know what I mean?
We do not have a
No, Mr.
firehouse.
Everett does.
The fire company has a firehouse.
Yeah, they own it, right, so,
Yeah.
I mean, but it just seems to me like, you know, we're spending money and we don't have the service in here. So, I mean, it's up to you guys, so,
Or if you call 911, someone will be there.
oh, I know that, I
Same
understand
thing,
that.
if you call 911 for any medical emergency, Squad 85 will be there, or if not, one of the other services that are covering the area.
Yeah, and I'm not, you know, questioning that, because I had to use them a couple of times, and they were great when they came to my house. But, you know, after 21 years of, you know, watching Mr. Eckert every Christmas, okay, when our town was enjoying life for Christmas, instead of having a fire truck come 2 weeks ahead of time and Santa's waving to the kids, he had a carriage with Santa on it, with the twins on it, and Joe from the committee, and it was just amazing here. It was amazing to live in Tuckerton 10 years ago. And now everything is just gone. It's changed to the point where we're not enjoying life here anymore. I mean, I'm serious.
Not to correct you, John, but Parkertown went down every single street in Tuckerton Beach. Santa was actually on a sleigh being pulled by
I
a
saw
vehicle.
him, I saw him.
That was me.
Okay, was
Santa,
that,
so
was that Christmas Eve?
it wasn't
It
Christmas
was a
Eve.
week or so before.
It was the Saturday before
Okay,
Christmas.
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Christmas is, you know, when we did it, it was the night before Christmas. So kids still believe in Santa Claus.
Oh, we know that.
But when you see him a week ahead of time, you know what I mean, they think it's the guy from the mall.
I understand that Christmas is important, but also saving lives and getting the answers out to them for fire and EMS is very important too. So we had to take a look at both, everything that deals with why we had to get rid of the fire company and the change to EMS.
All right, well,
That's important too.
of course, but, you know, I don't think that we really have to treat Mr. Eggert that he's like an outcast, I mean, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know all the facts about the litigations and all like that and all, but it's just, it seems to me this guy has done an awful lot for Tuckerton over the course of, you know, the time I've been here. And now the holidays come and go, and, you know what I mean, it's entirely different around here. I mean, that's just my opinion, so, I mean, just like you said, things change, but I don't think they're changing to the good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your opinion. Are there any other comments or questions from the public?
Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we close the public comment section.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to close the public comment section. All in favor? Any opposed? All right.
And at this time, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 4 of 2025, an ordinance of the Borough of Tuckerton in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of a vehicle for the police department and an ambulance in and for the borough, and appropriating $386,000, therefore, and providing for the issuance of $366,700 in bonds or notes of the borough to finance the same.
Second.
Okay. You made a motion?
I did.
All right.
I started
And
the
who
motion,
seconded it?
sorry.
All right. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Abstain.
Mr. Peterson. Yes. Thank you.
My next order of business is a resolution pertaining to salaries of certain officers and employees of the Borough of Tuckerton. A resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, designating salaries for certain officers and employees of the Borough of Tuckerton. And Savannah, did you get this up on the website by chance? This resolution, because I'll put it up to,
No, I did not.
so that it's posted.
Which one? The salaries, we
Yeah.
never put it on the website.
Yeah.
But if I don't, we put it up.
And I move this resolution.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second on this resolution as read. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I know it's not one of the normal ones that would go up with all like the bills list and stuff. That's why I was just curious if it was up, because I can throw it up there. Next, I have a resolution for the payment of claims for this month. This month, we have $1,973,837.19 going out. A couple of them I want to point out is Tuckerton Elementary School in the amount of $332,705.42. Pinelands Regional School District in the amount of $610,301. Our Ocean County Municipal Joint Insurance in the amount of $133,911 and then one more that I wanted to point out is a payment of just over $45,000 going out to Challenger Fence. That is for the new backstop, which is up over at the All Wars Memorial Ball Field. That is coming out of grant money, so that's not coming out of taxpayer money. But I wanted to really point that out because I went over on Saturday and watched some of a baseball game going on, and it was awesome watching them play. The new backstop looks fantastic, so thank you to Councilman Diemar and Councilman Peterson for all your work that you guys have done, making that look nice. It looked good with the concession stand open, the announcers booth working. Everything was really, really nice to see that in the center of town. So I have a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing payment of claims in the amount of $1,973,837.19, and I move this resolution.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second on this resolution as read. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. My next resolution is one that I seem to do every single year right around this time, which is authorizing the MAC grant, the 2025 MAC grant. So a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse 2025 fiscal grant cycle, July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and I move this resolution.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this resolution. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
My next resolution is for Chapter 159 for the Recycling Tonnage Grant. I have a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing a Chapter 159 for the fiscal year 2025 Recycling Tonnage Grant for the 2025 municipal budget, and I move this resolution.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second on this resolution. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And my final resolution is for a co-op for Cranford member. I have a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the borough to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement, and I move, with the Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System, and I move this resolution.
Second?
Okay, again, we have a motion and a second on this resolution. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Mayor, that is all I have until we get to committee
Okay,
messages.
there was a lot of business there. All right, let's move on. Public Works, Water and Sewer, Councilman Colangelo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Three resolutions I'll be reading this evening. Another road opening permit. We're gonna authorize the sale of certain municipal vehicles and finally award a bid for a new 30-yard roll-off dumpster. Just a couple of reminders that Ocean County Department of Solid Waste Management has two programs that are currently active. One is the household hazardous waste and the residential document shredding program. All the details and how to sign up are on our website. We have a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the approval of a road opening permit on Kingfisher Road for block 113, lot 43, and granting relief under section 419-15 of the Borough Code, and that is to reconnect the gas service at 324 Kingfisher, and I move this resolution.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second on this resolution as read. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of certain municipal vehicles, a 2006 Ford E250 and a 2003 Ford F350, and I move this resolution.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the sale of these municipal vehicles. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
And finally, a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, awarding a contract for the purchase of a 30-yard roll-off dumpster. Two quotes were received, and Waste Equip submitted the lowest price quotation in accordance with the borough specs. The said bid being in the amount of $8,050.06. I move this resolution.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this resolution. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes,
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
and that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, buildings and grounds and community affairs, Councilman Diemar.
Thank you, Mayor. I interrupt at this point. I wish to address the resolution which is on the agenda as 9A, the resolution awarding a purchase for an ambulance. Just so Mr. Zabriskie understands that Mr. Eggert's comments are not marginalized or taken for granted in any manner. We listen to what Mr. Eggert has to say. Mr. Eggert is right that you cannot award a contract until the money is actually in place. That's the advice that I would have given Mr. Eggert, did give Mr. Eggert, when he was the mayor of the town, and it's the advice that I continue to give the governing body. It had nothing to do with the bond ordinance itself. I was going to address that resolution when we got to it on the agenda because the comments were limited to the bond ordinance itself. So this resolution is specifically for the purchase of an ambulance, the funding of which would come from the bond ordinance, which would take effect after 20 days from the posting of the publication of the bond approval. My suggestion is that you table this resolution at this time until the money is in place by virtue of the bond ordinance, or in the alternative, you should receive an opinion from bond counsel that the municipality may award notwithstanding the 20-day period of the bond ordinance. I'm not bond counsel, I'm the general counsel. But generally speaking, the law is which is that you cannot award a contract until the money's in place so that the CFO can certify as to the availability of funds. So I would appropriately request that this item be tabled at this time, either pending the passage of the bond ordinance and its effective date, or an opinion from bond counsel.
Okay,
A motion to table it, correct? They need a motion.
Motion table.
okay.
I move the table.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second that we table this resolution. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two resolutions I'm not reading tonight. But on the lighter side, I would like to say something about the ball field. I saw a game a week ago on a Sunday evening, and it was very pleased with the amount of people, how they took care of the field because they had to do some work on it themselves, and how the game went. And one of the things that we had talked about doing with the field was that we thought maybe we needed to have some playground equipment there at the field. Well, we don't need playground equipment. We have a pile of dirt, and the dirt kept the kids busy for hours. It was fun to watch them, and I think that's all we have to do every year is make sure there's a pile of dirt for the kids. That's all I have to say. Thank
Might
you.
as well put some shovels and rakes out there.
Mayor, I just would request, since there was we tabled the previous resolution, we didn't incorporate both resolutions in the same motion. So I would ask that a motion to table the second resolution, which was listed as 9B.
Move to table the second resolution.
Second.
All right, now I have a motion and a second to table the second resolution. Well, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you're finished?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Now we'll move on to administration and regulation. Councilman Dupree.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have two notable items. The first is approval, I'm requesting, for the March 17th meeting with the executive session. Does any council person have any additions or corrections they'd like to make to those minutes? And I see no hands, so I move that we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to accept the minutes. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
And Your Honor, finally, I would ask if Deputy Chief Lauren Runza from Station 70, which is Parkertown Volunteer Fire Company, would come forward and give the monthly report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me this evening. In the month of March, Parkertown Fire Company gladly responded to 10 fire calls in the borough of Tuckerton, along with 14 EMS calls. During March, we also had 2 meetings, one with Harbor View Apartments and the Tuckerton Beach Residents Association, where we spoke to them about fire safety and EMS safety, and we had some wonderful giveaways with them. We had coffee and donuts with them, answered any questions they had about response in this area, and it was a very nice event. We have also recently opened up reopened, I should say, our junior firefighter program at Parkertown Fire Company. We were, over the last few years, doing a program with the Boy Scouts of America, but we have now gone back to the junior firefighter program. We are currently starting to advertise that also within the borough of Tuckerton, inviting any child from the ages of 12 to 17 to come out for the junior firefighter program, and we're doing this in hopes to lead them towards a career path in fire service. On top of that, I would just like to touch on something that a gentleman earlier had talked about, and just so that the town council is aware of our protocols as far as the Santa Run goes in December. All of the fire companies in the area, Eagleswood Township, Mystic Island Fire Company, and West Tuckerton Fire Company, along with Parkertown, all do a Santa Run. Because all of the children still do believe in Santa, they also do know that when they go to the mall and places like that, Santa is there before Christmas Eve, before the night for Christmas, because where does he belong on Christmas Eve or the night before? In the North Pole, getting ready to go on the sleigh, right? So of course, you know, he does get out there to visit the children before that time frame. Now, a lot of work goes into deciding when Santa's gonna go out. Now, there is only one Santa Claus, the children know that, so we very well can't be having Santa in Eagleswood on Monday night and in West Tuckerton at the same time. So the fire chiefs in all the local areas do discuss when they will be doing their Santa runs, and we all try and alternate so that we don't have 2 Santas passing by at the same time, alerting the children. So that's how we come up with when Santa will be out. It's not because we don't want to be out on Christmas Eve or the day before, but it really is a coordinated effort between all of the fire companies so that we do maintain that element for the children, okay? All right, thank you very much.
Please stay
Yes.
right here for a second. While you're here, I'm going to share with council. I went to your installation dinner, and it was a very, very nice time that evening. And you presented to the Parkertown Firehouse, to the Tuckerton Borough Council, 2024. And this is a very nice little clock there. And I just thank you so much. I was totally surprised by that, and I think it's very beautiful. And I've had it safe at home, and I finally said, all right, this is coming tonight with me. And again, I thank you very much for that.
And thank you for
On
coming.
behalf of the council.
And just one other added thing, I would like, since the gentleman is standing here, I would like to tell you that during the times that we have answered our calls in Tuckerton, your police department has bent over backwards to be helpful and kind, and we really have enjoyed working with them. So on behalf of the Parkertown Fire Company, we would like to thank you very much for all of your hard work and help.
Just thank you for mentioning that.
You're welcome.
We thoroughly enjoy our police.
Yes.
And all of the things that they do there, we're there, they take care of us all. Thank you.
And, Dave, have you anything to offer? or-
No, not this time.
Not this time? Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, fine, thank you very much.
And I hope everybody had a happy Easter.
Yes. All right, moving on to number 11 on our agenda, law and public safety, Councilman Peterson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have one resolution to read tonight for
Councilman,
the
You
purpose
did.
of,
you're gonna have to table this one too.
table this one too?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to
Motion.
table this one too.
I make a motion to table this resolution.
Second.
Second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second to table this resolution at this time. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay.
and that's all I don't have, Your Honor.
All right, I have a few other things. First of all, I received a resignation from Michael Leasing from the Grapevine from the Tuckerton Economic Development Committee. I hereby resign from the Tuckerton Economic Development Committee because the time that the EDC meets conflicts with my restaurant business, and I am not able to attend the meetings. So I would, do I
Move
have
to
to?
accept.
All right.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept this resignation. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Can I add one thing to that?
Certainly.
So Mike was a great asset, but unfortunately, the Economic Development Committee meets right during dinner rush. So being the owner of the Grapevine, it makes it very hard for him to actually attend the meetings. But he will be missed. He was a nice help.
He had some very good ideas, and I'm sure we can call on him to help when we have other things going on. And then in his place, I would like to appoint a resolution of the Borough of Tuckerton, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appointing a member to the Tuckerton Borough Economic Development Committee, and this person is Ken Laney, to, let's see, for a term to expire December 31st, 2026. May
Can
I?
move that resolution.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to accept this. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupre.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, that's good. And then finally, I wanted to remind everyone that we have our annual Arbor Day celebration on Wednesday this time, the 30th of April, so that's coming up. We could not meet and do it on Friday like we normally do because school is out for Easter. So we will be meeting on the last day of the month on Wednesday. We have 14 students from the elementary school whose writing they will share at this. And we have first and second medals to give to these children. And then the second half of this celebration, we always honor someone from the town. And, we will be adding a name to our, thing up there on the wall, that very beautiful thing that Joanne McAndrew had, designed at one time. And, it's going to be Elaine McClure and her husband Bill. So we're looking forward to that. Elaine, if you know her, was kind of all over town. She was into a lot of things. I worked with her on the library board. She was a very successful real estate saleswoman, and she made very good that way. So we're honoring her and her husband. She was always by her side. And that's all that I have, so I will turn it over to Mr. Solicitor, Mr. Connors.
Well, as the Grinch that stole the ambulance and the police car, I have nothing.
Okay, move on, Madam Clerk.
I have one thing, or I have a few things actually. The first thing I have is a facility use form for the Tuckerton Beach Association to use the South Green Street Park for June 21st, July 19th, and August 9th.
I made that motion.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second for the use of the park. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next thing I have is 2 raffle licenses from the Friends of Little Lake Harbor branch of Ocean County Library. They will be having a raffle on Wednesday, August 20th. One is a 50/50 and one is an off-premise raffle
I made that motion.
with waiver of fee.
Okay. Do we have a motion? We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last thing I have is an application for a raffle license for the Servetto Craftsman Club. Actually 2 of them. One for July 4th, 2025, and the other one's for December 7th, 2025.
I made that motion.
Second.
Okay, so the motion and a second on these raffle applications. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Colangelo.
Yes.
Mr. Diemar.
Yes.
Mr. Dupree.
Abstain.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, so we're ready to move on. And are there any other? You have some things for committee reports.
Well, you stole my one thing.
I'm sorry.
Um,
You usually steal what I have to say.
So, just to
Go ahead.
reiterate what the mayor had said about Arbor Day. So it's April 30th, Wednesday, April 30th, the, reading from the elementary school kids will be right here at 6 PM, followed by at 7 PM or right around 7 PM will be for Bill and Elaine McClure right after. So I think the only thing you missed was the times on that,
Yes, I
which
did,
is
right.
6 PM it starts with the Tuckerton Elementary School kids, 7 PM for Elaine McClure.
And we have that divided out. I do the kids and Councilman Martin does the other, so that's good.
And then the only other real piece of news from Pride and Celebration Committee is that this summer, the Friday night concert series will be held at the All Wars Memorial Ball Field. We have acquired a trailer to build a stage that will then be donated to the borough. It's privately acquired, it will be donated to the borough once it's ready to go. And we will have a stage that can be wheeled out right there to home plate so that we have access to the electricity coming out of the announcer's booth and the snack shack there for the bands. And we'll be holding all these summer concerts at the ball field. At the next meeting, I will have a list of the actual dates. I know the first one isn't until July 11th, and then it'll be every Friday. I think we have, I want to say 6 total scheduled. But I'll have all the dates and the bands that will be playing on those dates at our next council meeting.
Okay, that's good. It's gonna be a fun summer. So, I think we're ready for.
One thing to say.
Yes.
EDC is in the process of organizing and putting together a Chamber of Commerce. It'll be the Tuckerton Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully, all the businesses will come aboard. I think it's gonna be a big plus for the town. Probably be able to organize a lot more events, and bring a lot more people into the town to spend their money at our stores. Hopefully it works out well. That's all I have.
Okay,
Your
yeah,
Honor, I have
that's good.
items too, as well. And I wanted to read the monthly construction report. We issued 9 permits, resale 13, transfer title 2, zoning 19. The inspections performed, construction-wise, were 66 total. Bulkheads were 4, plumbing 39, electric 20, complaints 3, zoning were 3. And then for the code enforcement, on-site inspections were 21, violation notices sent were 4, working violations were 6, violations cleared were 4, phone complaints were 22, housing inspections were 21, and 1 bulkhead inspection, and then open requests were 2. And that's all I had, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you've been busy. Keep it up. All right, that's good. So, we're all set? Motion to open public forum.
Motion to open the public forum.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to open public forum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're gonna listen to anything that you have to say. You have 5 minutes. I forgot.
Paul Solomoni, 20 Edgewater Drive, Tuckerton. I attended the TPA meeting. And I saw the whole firehouse EMS thing, which is really good. There were some questions about the environmental committee that no one in the audience could answer. I was called upon to answer those questions. And they wanted to know what the environmental committee does, which is basically the community garden, the downtown planters, clean up along Route 9, in a nutshell. There's been a lot of stuff on Facebook. People want to know when the yard sale is going to be, Brian.
I guess I should have announced that. It's June 7th.
Is it? Okay.
June 7th.
Well, then I have an answer to give them. But, you know, the yard sale is.
I saw the TBA posted that today.
Yeah.
And Bunny beat me to answering it, so.
Did she?
but it
No, I
is,
didn't see
yeah.
it. All right.
It will be June 7th.
I was involved with a combined effort at Parkertown Firehouse, and it was nice to see the 2 fire companies come together to help myself and Mr. Dupree out complete the job we were doing. I just want to let you know that they're working together, whether you see it or not. A lot of times you don't see the stuff that goes on. It's, a lot of it's done behind scenes. Also, speaking of behind the scenes, I want to thank Jenny and Sam. You may not know about this, Sam, but Paradise Cove got all new street signs. My neighbor paid for them. I got them, dropped them off. They're really nice. They say Paradise Cove on them. They're really cool. They reflect and everything. So that's all done. And is the ball field going to use a sound system
Yes.
that we donated last year to TBA, the Paradise Cove Association?
They used it.
Awesome.
And you do.
And you know what, I'll probably be able to hear the councils better at my house, now that it's a little bit closer. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else from the public? No, here we go. All right, I have one thing that I forgot.
Wait.
I'm sorry, Mr. Iger? Mr. Iger.
Yeah, we had 121 Mill Landing Terrace, Tuckerton. I wanted to mention too, I forgot to mention that bond for the ambulance specifically says on there, in and for the borough of Tucker, just so you're aware of that. As far as you're into like 120-some thousand a year now, the rate you're paying for fire and EMS protection. Now you're buying an ambulance. They gave the rescue truck, which I told you a few meetings ago, would be worth thousands of dollars. So I think when people find out what really went down behind the scenes here with the fire company, they're going to wind up paying more. Yeah, it's not going to be good. One thing I want to mention too, a few months ago, I brought up about the police cars going to, Lenoka Harbor to get front end alignments, paying more than we would pay Shore Wheels had a machine, and Mr. Martin said, well, they have a new machine up there, and they've all been freshly trained on it. When I talked to Mr. Miller, actually in front of my shop, John's dad, he said they have a Hunter machine there too. And it's funny because how do you generate pride in the town when you have the chairman of the Economic Development Committee, who's a volunteer, you know, his business doesn't get to work, yet the Public Works Director, according to Jenny, makes the decisions, takes up to what I found out as a friend of his up in Lenoka Harbor to get the things done. And then when I came to the Economic Development meeting, Mr. Martin is asking John Miller to grease some bearings on this trailer the borough bought. You know, lucky it wasn't me, I would have told him to go to hell. I mean, that's really how you treat your borough people, send them work out of town, you want them to do free favors? How's that gonna work out in the long run? So you can talk all you want about economic development, chamber of commerce, but until the borough starts looking out for its own, you're never gonna have anything here, especially after what he did to the fire company and this kind of stuff. Okay, one thing I was looking at too, on the bill list, you're paying like, between, what the monthly bills are, it would either be somewhere between $16,800 and $19,200 a year to get the borough buildings clean. And I looked up, it's called the Aaron Girl, and it turns out that's the wife of the public works superintendent also. Has anybody from the borough ever been getting a chance to get that contract or that deal? Or does it just go to somebody who works for the borough, their friends out of town? How's that work?
Went out to,
Huh?
We've seen outside quotes and they're double what
Okay.
is charged.
Well, I'll open request the paperwork. Last thing I wanted to ask, I noticed you have red, Mike, you're a councilman, I noticed you have red flashing lights on your vehicle going to calls. Why do you have them?
That's, four ways.
Okay.
There's no red lights on the, front, on the rear.
Well, on your taillights, they were alternating flashing, one then the other.
Yeah, that's flashing red
That's not
lights.
the four ways. Four ways come out
I
simultaneously.
have a permit for emergency lights on my vehicle,
What's it say?
that I have
Why do you have, what's your position? You have a red light permit?
I'm a lieutenant in the fire department.
Okay, the only chief, the assistant chief allowed, they can tell you that. Read the red light permit. So why do you have it? You're a lieutenant, right? So in other words, you have them on your truck,
I
and you
have,
have a red light
I
permit, you're
have
saying.
taillights.
What's
The
that?
taillights, when I put the flashers on, the brake lights will flash.
No, the taillights alternately flash. They left, right, left, right. Have you seen that? I'm sure some of your officers have seen it for on patrol. Okay? Okay, well, what I'll do, since you started the war, you stuck your lives, I was never a life member of Parkertown. You wanna write a ticket, or I want me to go see the clerk in a couple days and write the summons?
We have to see it, like, I have never seen.
You
it
just
done.
said you had red lights on the back of his truck.
No, I didn't. I said I'd have flashing, taillight.
Alternate, yeah,
I
alternate
didn't
flash.
say alternate, I said they flash when I put the four ways on.
Okay, but if you have four ways on, they both flash at the same time. They don't red, boom, boom, not alternating flash, Mike, so don't go there. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, if I could, Your Honor. Mr. Eggert had mentioned that Parkertown takes an exorbitant amount of time to respond to fires, and Tuckerton will be there at the speed of the light. Do you want people to respond in a reasonable amount of time?
Legally, yes.
Legally. That's
Not a pompous politician thinks he's above the law.
Mr. Zabriskie, remember what you were saying about why does anybody attack Mr. Eggert? That statement may be why. Also, I was the first responder at a motor vehicle accident in front of Mr. Eggert's shop. He called me an MFer.
No, I didn't. I said you're a corrupt councilman. I don't call
You said
you
that too, but you also
I
called me
don't
an
use
MFer.
MF. I said you're a corrupt councilman, and I have witnesses there to hurt.
You don't have the floor anymore.
Let me
Don't sit there and lie, Mike.
Well, I just happen to
You
have.
lied here in public, and I got you. You go ahead and continue.
That's it.
You're letting
If
him
you
lie.
don't stop yelling, I'm gonna have you read.
Go ahead. Take me out.
Chill, relax, please.
Let me finish. I have a witness that heard it and told me exactly what you said. I heard you say something, And then your son had to stop you and restrain you from coming over to me.
No, he didn't.
He did, he said, Dad, no, Dad.
No, he didn't, no.
Yeah, well,
He'll be here at the next meeting, so will my neighbors.
well, there was a couple witnesses that saw that, and,
4 of us were there, Mike.
but anyhow, if you're so concerned about people responding from Parkertown, how long it takes, open your building up, Parkertown will have a truck there today, working out of that building. If you're worried about response, most of the members, respond from Tuckerton now. We have a lot of members from Tuckerton, and we respond to Parkertown, so if you open up that building, put your money where your mouth is. If you're so caring about our community, let us keep some trucks there at that building.
We'll talk to the president about a contract, we'll talk about it.
Okay, is
Madam
there
Mayor?
anyone else?
Yes, I have 2 things I would like to add, corrections to what Mr. Eggert said. He said that at the EDC meeting, I asked about John Miller greasing some bearings on the trailer that the borough is buying. The borough is not buying any trailer. I personally bought the trailer with my own money, and once we have the stage built, I'm the one that will be donating it to the town. So there was no request, there was no request for the borough buying it. Along those same lines, I don't want to speak on behalf of John Miller. He can speak for himself, but I did have a conversation with John Miller about doing the front end alignments, and John had said that he typically does not seek out bidding on government jobs because they want things done right away, instantly, and he doesn't like to operate like that. That's why he has never gone out to bid in the recent years for front-end alignments on any of the vehicles or anything. So it's not that the borough has no pride in their businesses in town. The business in town in question has no interest in doing that job for the borough. And John's doing quite well with what he's doing without having that. So that is his choice, and that was a conversation that I had with him. But if you'd like any more information on that, please feel free to speak to John Miller himself on that. And that was the only 2 corrections I had to what he said.
And I gotta say, there is no war, Mr. Eggert. If maybe in your mind there is, not in mine. I brushed you off years ago, and unfortunately, a lot of the residents know where you come from, and it's the same thing over and over again. Anybody that attacks their own EMS service and their own fire company by putting a fire truck in front of their business saying, Tuckerton Fire Company, makers of fine charcoal. Somebody that does that to their very own fire company, I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, that's obvious.
No, I can't.
That's exactly right, and we know everything about you. And so, if you wanna start a war, start a war. Don't include me, keep me out of it, but if your house is on fire, I'll be one of the first people there. And if you have a heart attack in your front yard, I will be the first one to help put you on a stretcher and give you CPR if you need it, because I'm here for not a certain people, I'm here for everybody in the community, including you. Thank you.
Okay.
May I?
Beth, absolutely.
May I approach?
And we're still in public forum, aren't we?
Bringing love and sunshine?
Yes.
Say
your name and address, please.
Beth Ogjensky Garvin, 209 Cedar Street, Tuckerton. I have so many things I wanna say. The Environmental Commission, so we had a road cleanup, thanks for coming, Brian. I think as in reference to what we do, it seems that, well, for a couple years there wasn't any, correct? We get a little steam going, and I don't know why people drop out, because we can't, but anyway, we do get things done, and we will get more things done. It's just, we're volunteers, dude. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Working on the environment.
Yes. And everything counts where that's considered. And really, it's just in town. I know that the TVA, and I know that Paradise Cove, I know they had their cleanups too, or wait, maybe Paul didn't. I don't remember, but anyway.
it seems to be that, and I've seen this other places, it's those little liquor bottles.
Yeah, you're all over.
Cigarette butts, that's really what it is. I mean, we did go in and get plastic and big garbage, but I didn't know you weren't supposed to go into the bushes, and I like pulled out these big tarps. But anyway, also, what else was I gonna say? I asked Emily, our lovely reporter, to make sure that Santa Claus and Christmas was the headline for this meeting. I want to curse, but I won't. Also, there was something else, I guess I'll save it for next time, because I don't really remember, because I'm gonna be 64 this weekend, so, there you go.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Welcome to the club.
And then you-
I forget what I was gonna say, was like,
Mr. Zabriskie, would you like to talk from where you are?
No, I don't mind, I need to exercise, they tell me, I gotta walk all the time.
We can hear you all over the room.
Plus, he wants to enjoy this podium.
Yeah, I mean, you guys need the podium for me? I mean, that's it.
I bought that tripod for the
Oh,
camera,
tell me
just so that you could have your podium back.
And you can't believe how good you guys look on TV now. Before you just saw your head.
Yeah.
And the rumor was the talking heads were on tonight. And they don't say that anymore, so I give you credit. I want to give you credit for another thing if I can. 707 South Green Street, Tuckerton, New Jersey. Brian, I went to your affair at the Redmond, the Brian celebration for the fireworks. And you put a first class job in that. That was the first job, first class operation. The people fed you, they brought the food to the table, and you raised money for the township. And you did a great job, and I just wanted to start out with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
The committee works very hard, and we're up to 23, I think, members on
Wow.
that 4th of July.
That was, it was a nice turnout, when the people were all there. They didn't have to go.
We
get
had fun
food.
doing it
It
too.
was incredible. I have an issue that I've been trying to get taken care of for 8 years. Jim, the inspector, is a friend of mine. I treat him, I hope he's a friend of mine because he's a friend, I feel he's a friend. He's come to my house, he's come to the house every year, and I'm glad he's here. I call him and I say, Jim, it's John again. And he goes, all right, John, I know it's about the abandoned boat in the yard next to you. 8 years now, I've been dealing with him. And all I can say is that he does a fabulous job. He came right out every time. He calls me back. He even calls me when I'm in Florida to see if I'm okay. And that's a friend, okay? So I wouldn't have anything to say bad about him. But, so he goes, my hands are tied. I can't do anything for you. My hands are tied. Okay? So I said, well, what do you think? I said, well, until council passes a decent resolution about abandoned boats, abandoned cars on the property that has some meat in it, we're not ever gonna take care of the issue. So what I did was, I figured I'm gonna call Keith, because I respect the man, and I think he does a great job, and I wanted to go up the next level and see what I could do about this. It was 8 years of getting nothing. Okay, and I brought in Mr. Dupree, and I talked with him about it, and these gentlemen will tell you that I, spoke with both of them about this. And Keith said that I'm gonna work on an ordinance to take care of your problem. After I invited him down to my house, which he came to my house, he looked at the boat, and he goes, it's ridiculous. The tires and the rims are halfway in the ground, and the boat's been there for 8 years. And the township, Tuckerton, they supposedly can't do anything about it.
Because the boat is registered.
It don't mean nothing though. It doesn't, I don't care if it's registered or not. It's just, but still, it's junk. And it shouldn't be able to stay there for 8 years. That shouldn't be allowed to be on a property for 8 years. You gotta keep your property up, so why wouldn't you have to keep your boat up?
It's registered, that's all I can say is based on the ordinance and the state's ordinance, if it's a registered vehicle, it's not abandoned.
So I can go get, 5 old boats and throw them on my property and let them sit there.
Our ordinance limits the number of boats and vehicles you can store on
Okay,
the property.
can I ask you what the amount is on
I
that?
believe it's 2.
2 boats?
Yes.
Okay, well, the property on my street has 6 boats, 3 trailers, and a Winnebago. So where's that in this ordinance?
The one right next door to you?
No, the one on the corner, the new house that went on, I don't know what the address is, but right as you come into Tuckerton.
Okay, I can have Mr. McAndrew take a
So
look
he
at
looked
that.
at it already, and
Okay.
so I don't know what happened with that. But, so I'm waiting for this boat ordinance thing to help me out. And, you know, you give me this paper that comes out with all these pages in here about what you have to do to take care of the abandoned properties. And I don't see anything being done about abandoned properties, because I can take you for a run around. And if you followed the rules and regulations in here, okay, it would take you 6 months for each property if you wanted to do it properly, if you go through all the stages that are in here.
Unfortunately, that's the way legislation works. We have to notify and notice and go through the steps and give them a timeline for everything.
Okay, well, who does that?
The building department and the zoning officer.
Okay, so Mr. McAndrews, who does a fantastic job, you realize that he works 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 15 hours, ladies and gentlemen. And then we supposedly have another guy who I never met, never saw, and he gets 8 hours. So that's 23 hours that the two of these guys are supposed to take care of all of the inspections, checking on the contractors, looking into this, looking into that. When you write somebody up, you gotta go to, Tom's River to turn the summons in, if I'm not wrong. It has to be turned in over there if there's a problem with maybe, Jim would know that. But how do you, if you read this, how would you expect anything to get done if you didn't make this, into something that could be worked with people only working 23 hours? How do you explain that? So how are these properties gonna be taken care of ever?
Again, they notice the properties and it takes time. I mean, Jim and I were talking about another property in the borough the other day that has multiple boats and trucks on it, and he's got a stack of paper, it's about 1 inch thick, and it's over almost a year old, he's been working on it.
Yeah, but until you find them, you can't just send letters. And the lady who said my boat on the property next to me is registered, she never came down and put the registration on. There's no new registration on there.
Well, Jim has a copy of the registration.
What good's it doing that? So what good is that do as far as an ordinance is concerned? I mean, it doesn't do anything, there's no meat in this at all.
He needs to verify the registration of the vehicle. And that's what he.
But don't you think that should be changed? That can't be changed, sir?
No,
As long
no,
as it's registered, it's.
no.
But,
Let
no.
me jump in.
Yeah, please, but a boat, we can't get any control of that?
No. The reason why the ordinance is read to be registered, as it is with motor vehicles, is to provide an objective standard by which the borough will determine whether it's abandoned or not. Individuals who wish to abandon a vehicle or a boat generally won't annually register it, which requires that it be insured for a motor vehicle. So that's why it's an objective standard. You have to understand, what might be junk to one person isn't to another person. There's individuals they'll have a 1956 Ford pickup truck that doesn't have wheels on it, but they're in the process of rehabilitating it, or maybe they're not. Maybe they just can't get rid of it. They don't want it. They don't want to part with it. The only objective standard is to require that it be registered. And once it's registered, so that it could be driven on the public highways of the state of New Jersey, or registered so as to be able to navigate on the waters of the state of New Jersey, that is the determination of whether it's abandoned or not, or in case of disrepair.
But when the guy put the boat there, which I knew him well, the engine was totally shot, and the boat was put there, and it's been there for 8 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have cars that don't run, or run properly, or run at all. But if they care, I mean, how many people are gonna register and insure a vehicle if it's not gonna run, or it's not gonna be rehabilitated?
Yeah, well, this lady she just doesn't have it all there, and she don't know what she's doing.
See
But
where you're
now-
going with that now?
What's that?
See, so now, our code enforcement, Mr. McAndrew has to determine whether a person is of the right mind.
Well,
In addition to whether the vehicle is a junk vehicle or not.
Well, you still have the pictures of the boat that you took that day?
Yep.
I mean, the wheels are halfway in the ground. and we can't do anything about it, and I wanna sell my property now, okay, and get out of here. And I have to, what I'm gonna have to do is myself, okay, I'm gonna have to shrink wrap that piece of shit out there, okay? Just so that the people that wanna buy my house don't have to look at it. Now, is that fair to me? That I gotta pay $300 to shrink wrap a boat that's not even mine?
Also fair to the taxpayers of the borough of Tuckerton that they should be paying to shrink wrap it.
Well, I'm not saying they
This lady
should.
doesn't wanna shrink wrap it, she doesn't wanna shrink wrap it. If you wanna shrink wrap her, but let me know, give me your number, because I have a boat I'd like to shrink wrap every summer.
Yeah, but your boat isn't covered with mold, like this one is.
That's correct.
I mean, we have the pictures to show you. I mean, he agreed with me.
Listen.
He agreed with me 100%.
And I don't mean to be argumentative or contentious about it. I understand your frustration. The problem is when there's a subjective standard that determines whether something is good or not good, that's when the municipality runs into a precarious situation when it tends to enforce it in a court of law.
We sure do.
Do we have any other comments this evening?
Getting money, free Tuckerton Road, Tuckerton Beach. You said about moving with the Gomez property, moving the recycling center over to there. Is that really gonna look nice in the center of the town?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can
You want to move the recycling center uptown?
So it would be more out of necessity than anything else. So our
What's
current,
wrong with it where it is?
it's in a flood zone, especially if at the end of this summer, New Jersey pushes forward with their new policies and what's called the REAL Act, which is gonna raise the floodplain maps by 5 feet. Then the Public Works is really in a flood zone on those new maps. So we have issues with and Sammy might be able to chime in better, but I know the pumps that are there are down under, so they're basically submerged in groundwater right now. It's not good for the pumps to be down like that. Eventually, we need to look at moving all that stuff to higher ground to get better longevity out of it.
Putting in fill and building up the property.
They don't let you do that.
You can't build up on floodplains, wetlands, marshland, that kind
I
of
just
stuff.
put fill in my yard and it helps.
Yes,
Well, I think you have to, because that's
But
how it
yes.
is.
Private regulations
But,
versus
yeah.
what we have to do as if it's a water tower, or if it's, the DEP has to come and check our, gasoline tanks that are down there. All of that is, we're held to a higher standard than a private homeowner.
So then, what's gonna happen to that property? Does it go up for sale or just sit there? I mean, you're not gonna be able to build on it because it's,
Well, the water tower, so
and you're gonna move the water tower, so isn't that gonna be like a really expensive?
it will
That's
be.
up.
be moving.
We would put an addition to, because right now, the way that the water tower is, it's at the lowest point in the borough of Tuckerton. So when you guys, sometimes the pressure is not as good as it should be, and we're gonna eventually need another tower,
That's been that way for.
but it shouldn't be. But it shouldn't be.
Well, I'm used to it now, so, but, so what would you do with the property? Would it just?
Well, the water tower would stay. We would
Okay.
just have an additional water tower, not a big water tower like that, just another,
Okay.
simple
But the rest, the
standard.
recycling plant would be moved up.
Yes, I don't, depending on what kind of funds we use, because if you use mitigation funds from FEMA for moving, essential services out of the floodplain, there is, grant money for that. What happens is that land then just becomes, like non-existent, like open space type of thing. So it
If you say
depends.
open space, it won't be sold for people to build like $700,000 house.
No, I don't think that would be allowed anyway because of the floodplain.
Okay,
But no, because our water tower has to remain there.
okay, all right, thanks.
We also have a lease for a cell tower on that property as well, so.
Okay.
Which hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully soon we'll have a cell tower up there, but no, it'll never go as a residential.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, we've heard from just about everybody out there today. Is there anyone else who has anything to
Doris?
add?
They got me doing it.
Doris has been good tonight.
I move to close the public forum.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to close public forum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion
All right,
to adjourn.
Wait a minute, before we adjourn, I have a note here to myself that on behalf of the Rotary Club, Great Bay Rotary, I would like to ask council permission to use that field next door for our flags that we put up every year, until that field is used for other things, so,
I'll move that we give permission for
Second.
flags.
okay. I have a motion and a second on this request. Thank you very much, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. We will be putting up our flags, 100 flags up there.
Motion to
Coming
adjourn.
soon.
Second.
Now, motion and a motion to adjourn with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming. Our next meeting will be May 15th.
Unless we do a special meeting to adopt those resolutions, we forget them. Separate sheet.
I understand.
I would.